Hello everyone, back again with movie and tune recap. Today, I'm going to explain a Canadian slasher horror film from 2026, titled Death Cycle. Spoilers ahead, so watch out and take care. The movie opens with a voiceover from Lady Abby as she recounts to a reporter the horrific car accident that she and her sister were involved in, an accident that claimed her sister's life. The story then introduces the Sullivan family, an influential and extremely wealthy family consisting of Katerina, the family matriarch, Ray, and Eddie. They invite Detective Jerry to help them deal with a serious problem that Eddie has created. Eddie explains that he accidentally hit Abby and her sister with his car while they were on the road. After noticing that Abby's sister was still moving, he brutally stomped on her head several times until she died, unaware that Abby had witnessed everything. Believing Abby was dead, Eddie left the scene, but the real problem is that she survived. The family wants Detective Jerry to take care of the situation, but he refuses to get involved. After some persuasion from Ray, however, Jerry reluctantly agrees to help them, but only this one last time. A brief scene then shows the Sullivan family being murdered one by a mysterious biker. Meanwhile, in Chicago, Katerina's brother, Luca, who works as a reporter, receives a call from Detective Jerry. Jerry informs him that Ray and Eddie have been murdered and urges him to return home because the situation is getting out of hand. The following morning, Luca arrives at the train station, where Detective Jerry picks him up in his car. On the way, Luca asks whether any suspects have been arrested for the murders of Ray and Eddie, but Jerry tells him that no arrests have been made. After arriving at the family home, Luca meets with his sister, Katerina, and the two discuss the deaths of Ray and Eddie. Katerina blames Eddie for everything that happened, explaining that he was drunk when he hit Abby and her sister with his car. She also tells Luca how Eddie killed Abby's sister after the accident. According to Katerina, Abby identified Eddie as the driver as soon as the case was reported to the police, but Detective Jerry covered everything up. He made sure Eddie had an alibi and even tried to cast doubt on Abby's testimony by questioning whether she was certain Eddie was the one responsible. Katerina is convinced that Abby has something to do with the murders of Ray and Eddie. She asks Luca to speak with Abby and hear her side of the story. Luca agrees, but instead of staying at Katerina's house despite her insistence, he decides to check into a motel downtown. At the motel, Luca calls Jerry to get information about Abby, including her address. Elsewhere, the mysterious biker is seen at a hideout, preparing his equipment for another killing. Meanwhile, Jerry, who is asleep in his car, is suddenly awakened by the sound of a motorcycle speeding past. He steps outside and sees the mysterious biker shining the motorcycle's headlight directly at him. Jerry orders the rider to turn off the light, but the biker refuses. He then returns to his car to retrieve his gun. When Jerry comes back, the biker is gone. He searches the area but finds no sign of the rider. As he walks back to his car, he is suddenly attacked. Jerry later regains consciousness on the road, where the mysterious biker runs him over with the motorcycle, brutally killing him. The following day, Luca goes to Abby's neighborhood and secretly follows her as she visits a grocery store and several other places with the help of a male friend. While Abby is home alone, Luca goes to her house and rings the doorbell, and after receiving no response, he leaves a letter for her before walking away. That night at the motel, Luca receives a call from Abby. She warns him to stop stalking her and hangs up before he has a chance to respond. The following day, Luca returns to Abby's house, and this time, Abby has a change of heart and agrees to speak with him. Her best friend, Ben, invites Luca inside, where he finds Abby still recovering from the broken leg she suffered in the accident. As they sit down to talk, Luca introduces himself as a reporter and places a tape recorder on the table to record their conversation. He explains that he is working on a story about the Sullivan family murders and wants to hear Abby's side of the events surrounding the accident. Luca tells Abby that the killings began 2 weeks earlier, with Eddie becoming the first victim. Eddie, who works at a gym, is alone when he hears loud banging noises at the door. He goes to investigate, unaware that the mysterious biker is watching him. Eddie heads to the equipment area, where he briefly catches sight of a shadow passing behind him. Moments later, he comes face to face with the mysterious biker, who pulls out a knife and attacks him. Eddie initially overpowers the biker and goes to grab a weapon. However, when he returns, the biker launches another surprise attack. The biker repeatedly stabs Eddie, and after he collapses to the ground, brutally stomps on his head several times, crushing it. Following the murder, the killer is never identified, and the police make little progress with the investigation. According to Luca, although Katerina has an idea of who the murderer might be, she never reports her suspicions to the police because she prefers to handle matters herself. Luca then continues with the story of Ray's death, and before his murder, Ray and Katerina discuss Eddie's killing, with Katerina becoming increasingly paranoid. Ray tells her to calm down, assuring her that they will get to the bottom of the situation. He then drives home, unaware that the mysterious biker is watching him. Later that night, while relaxing by the pool at his house, Ray fails to notice the biker lurking nearby. Just then, his phone begins to ring, and as he steps out of the pool and focuses on answering the call, the biker attacks him. Ray later regains consciousness to find himself chained to a tree. He confronts the biker about killing Eddie, but the biker says nothing. Instead, the biker wraps a chain around Ray's neck and attaches the other end to the motorcycle. As the biker speeds away, the chain tightens and violently decapitates Ray. Luca asks Abby to tell him about the accident, and she begins recounting everything that happened, including how Eddie killed her sister. Despite everything she witnessed, no one was ever arrested. Detective Jerry did nothing to bring Abby justice and instead protected Eddie. Luca offers to get them both a glass of water, and while looking outside, he notices the mysterious biker's motorcycle parked near Abby's house and becomes suspicious. He tells Abby that the Sullivan family had many enemies, so if she was not behind the murders because she never got justice, then who was? He questions her about the motorcycle, making it clear that he is not accusing her of being the killer but simply wants to hear her side of the story. Growing uncomfortable with the conversation, Abby tells Luca that it is getting late and asks him to come back the next day so they can continue. Meanwhile at a church, Katerina steps outside to make a phone call, unaware that the mysterious biker is watching her. She calls Luca, who is taking a bath, and leaves him a voicemail, saying that she strongly believes someone is following her and that she needs his help. Later at Abby's house, Ben and Abby talk about Luca, and during their conversation, it becomes apparent that Ben is the mysterious biker after Abby thanks him for everything he has done to help her. Back at the motel, Luca tries to return Katerina's call after listening to her voicemail, but she does not answer, so he leaves her a voicemail in return. Just then, he notices a strange light outside his room. He looks through the window but sees no one, unaware that Ben is watching him. As Luca prepares to sleep, he listens to the recording of his earlier conversation with Abby. Later that night, he dreams that the mysterious biker breaks into his room and begins strangling him, but it is only a nightmare. He is suddenly awakened by a phone call informing him that his sister, Katerina, has been tragically killed, leaving him devastated. That night, Luca returns to Abby's house to speak with her. She invites him inside, and during their conversation, Luca tells her that Katerina is dead. Luca then recounts what happened. After returning home from the church service, Katerina takes a shower, unaware that Ben has followed her home. When she finishes, she notices that the back door is slightly open but does not think much of it. As she relaxes, Ben suddenly attacks and begins choking her, and while she struggles, he brutally stabs her in the stomach. Katerina manages to crawl away and gets into the elevator, with Ben slowly following behind her. She eventually makes it outside and continues crawling across the lawn, where her intestines spill out from the stab wound before she finally dies. Still heartbroken over his sister's death, Luca excuses himself to the bathroom to compose himself, unaware that Abby is watching him. She then changes into the biker outfit and attacks Luca, but he overpowers her and throws her into the basement. Luca arms himself with a weapon and heads down to confront Abby, only to discover that she is gone. Moments later, Abby, who has been hiding behind him, launches a surprise attack. Luca sees it coming, fights back, and pins her to the ground. Abby mocks him over the deaths of his family members and tells him he should have stayed in Chicago. Instead of killing her, Luca tells Abby that she will spend the rest of her life in prison, and at that moment, Ben enters the room and knocks Luca unconscious. Ben and Abby tie Luca up, place him in their car, and drive him to a remote forest, revealing that the two have been working together all along. After arriving, they hand Luca a shovel, and with Abby holding him at gunpoint, she and Ben force him deeper into the woods. When they reach a clearing, Abby tells Luca that this is where he will dig his own grave. She plans to make his death look like a suicide. Moments later, Abby suddenly shoots Ben, explaining that she no longer has any use for him and wants to afresh. Luca refuses to dig despite being threatened, and when Abby is briefly distracted, he attacks her, and she is shot during the struggle. Believing she is dead, Luca leaves the forest and drives away in their car. Back in the forest, it is revealed that Abby survived, as the bullet only grazed her face. Still consumed by the desire to avenge her sister's death, Abby gets on her motorcycle and chases after Luca as the movie comes to an end. Okay guys, that's all the recap about Death Cycle from 2026. Thanks for watching, see you again in the next video.